Well, that was probably the stupidest thing I've probably done in a long time. It's another day of working on this old girl. We got vacuum line for the brake booster. We got a momentary switch for running the glow plug circuit. And got a few miscellaneous things to button up. Like I want to get the tires filled up with air, want to bleed the front brakes. Obviously the vacuum line and the glow plug switch, get the throttle hooked up. Just a few miscellaneous things. I never put the anti-vibration pieces back on the injection lines. Maybe a little bit of cleanup, miscellaneous stuff just to get this running, driving good. And yeah, hopefully it can run and drive today. We're gonna try a cold start, see if all our work the last couple of weeks has paid off. Vacuum pump will be put on. So I was just about to hook up the brake booster to this vacuum line, and the old hose has fluid in it. It's kind of slippery, like a oily. I tasted it. It's definitely brake fluid. So the front master cylinder chamber, or maybe it was the rear, probably the rear for the front, it was empty, and I could not find a leak when I was test driving it. Apparently the leak is going through the master cylinder into the brake booster, so kind of stinks. Got the vacuum booster out of there, but not without a fight, because of course they used an aluminum plate. They used an aluminum plate back here, and those bolts were corroded pretty dang solid in there. I didn't want to bend my firewall up too bad, so you can see I did have to really get on it there, but a little bit of pounding on the backside and we were able to get it out. Seeing stuff like that really gets me excited for a cab swap on this thing. So I know I said the thing would be running and driving by the end of September. Look at some of this fine work. Key on. Oh yeah, we have glow plugs. Another day working on the tow truck. Ended up getting a lot of stuff done off camera. Ended up finding a lot more stuff that needed to be done off camera, but I wanted to get it to this point so I could do this. This thing is pretty huge. Probably not going to be able to do too much work with the lift on it. However, the main thing I want to do is take the cab off with the lift, and this is plenty of room for that. So I just need to get it backed up, grab the cab corners right there and there, and I'll probably unbolt the front clip, but at least I know what fits, what doesn't fit. So I know if I'm doing this in the winter, the door is gonna have to be open, so it's gonna be pretty miserable. But and it fits there, so it's possible, but not a lot of room for walking around, especially with the door closed. So it was a good experiment, but I don't know. So what I ended up doing was putting a new brake booster on, putting a new master cylinder on, bleeding the master cylinder and the brake booster. Went pretty good, except for the fact that the front calipers are completely rusted out and the brake bleeders broke completely off. immediately. I've been soaking them for 2 days. I figured it would be a problem. I don't want to buy new ones because it's 2-wheel drive and I'm going to be converting to 4-wheel drive. But right out here, that camper right there should have the same calipers, and I'll just unbolt those, bolt them on to this old pig. The calipers on that are not rusty. They only got 28,000 miles, so I'll probably even swap the pads and maybe even rotors on them. But I just wanted to get it on flat ground so my jack wasn't jacking on sand. I'm gonna be rolling around a lot on this thing or underneath it. But the rear brakes are working great. I mean, the pedal's still stiff with just the rears, so fortunate there. I could run and drive this around, but you saw it runs, it drives. However, I want it to be safe to drive down the street. Another thing I want to show you guys, the truck will run great and then it'll run like crap. I've been working on it for like 4 days since it's been running. It takes me about a week to make these videos. So right here, this is your return line. It goes all the way back. There's a million videos of how to fix all this stuff. But the problem I keep having is right here. So this is just your standard elbow. This is a check valve in here with a glass ball. And that thing keeps getting dirty. I mean dirty like a carburetor that's been sitting for 4 years with bad fuel in it. I mean, there's chunks, straight varnished chunks. I have run one fuel filter of ATF through it, but it was smoking and clanking like crazy. I knew the injectors were plugging up, so I was like, man, what is going on with this thing? I was ready to rip the injectors off, rip them out of another truck, do something. And then I was like, you know what? It fixed it once. Let's see if I can fix it again. So I keep taking that ball valve out, cleaning it, just spraying a little brake clean in there or carb clean or starter fluid, and just keep poking it with a little syringe. And I can see all the chunks come out in my hand. I mean, it's crazy how dirty this pump was. So if you got one of these things and you just can't get it to run right, it'll idle, but it'll crack and pop and misfire. That's probably your problem, is a dirty pump. So back to it. We're gonna get those brakes off. Rolling under the truck is so much nicer than on the dirt. Another development is bell housing right here. I got a really bad crack. Here's a magnet. So that's steel, aluminum. So I'm gonna have to pull the bell housing out when I do the transmission swap to 4-wheel drive, and I'm gonna have to weld that up. Still learning the lift a little bit, but this thing is sweet. I got just the 2 front arms underneath it, picked up enough. So this is gonna make a solid axle swap a lot easier, being able to get up under there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pick it up completely. Based on where that arm is, this one's gonna be hitting the fuel tank. I would need like 12 inches of lift on these, so I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm gonna plan on all the work that's gonna be done with this is pretty much gonna be like this. So learning how to do it. So I'll get these wheels ripped off now. Brakes are going good. We got the first caliper on from the RV, so we know they fit. Got them all greased up, got them all installed. The bleeder screw on these is delicious looking. It's not rusty at all. Check this out. I was under here looking to see all my grease points. Look what I found. This truck claimed one a long time ago. That thing is ugly. Poor sucker was looking for that forever, I bet. I wonder if there's anything else up there. Oh, that'll happen on these old trucks. So got this side done. I can get the wheel back on and go do the other side. I'm probably just gonna do the other side. I'll bleed them like this. So I'll go get the other side done. Getting a little bit of gravity bleeding action. Look at that. Nice clear fluid coming out. So I'm gonna tighten this, and then I'm gonna go put some pressure on the brakes, wedge it against the seat and bleed it. Got the brake pressed down, so let's see how she bleeds. All right, let's see. Open for all air. Let me move the pan. I don't know why I said all air. I meant all fluid, no air. That's what we got. So I'll do this a couple more times off camera, but I think we're good. It's another day. Got the tow truck parked out here. Today we're doing our first official test drive. Got it neutral. And turn the key on. Hit my little glow plug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Push the clutch in. There she goes, chugging. I keep forgetting you gotta hit that gas pedal to get that high idle up. Muffler's not nearly as bad. Most of the clanking is up here now. It's not bad. I'm gonna stand back here so it's not so loud. So a recap, we have new brake calipers in the front, new brake pads in the front, and by new I just mean off that thing. And the back have been bled. They were getting nice and tight. They're drums in the rear. They are pads in the front, discs in the front. We tied up all the electrical, all the hoses, new brake booster, new master cylinder. The motor has gone through the whole fuel system. It's running, driving, idling just fine. So we're gonna go for an actual drive and see how it does. She rides straight, 50 miles an hour. Need to get that tachometer fixed. Oh, there is no engine braking on this thing. Turns nice. Look at that. Pulls in 4th gear. Only going 30 miles an hour. I'm going to stop in 4th gear here. Just about. Go around this corner. Alright, it's lugging. We're going 15 miles an hour. See that? About 15. 4th gear. Yeah, she's pulling. Not bad. So we're cruising 50 up to 55. I'm just trying to go a little slower now so it's not so loud for you guys. This is probably pretty boring to watch, but it's running and driving exactly how it should. I mean, if I went on a test drive and this is how it drove, I would have just given the man $4,000 and been on my way, but I like this. I like it a lot. This is not at all, not even close to what it was like when I tried test driving it. So this is cool. This is the first time I really get to enjoy this. Well, we're back home, and right as we pulled in, I hear a hissing noise. So my coolant temps are fine. You hear it? Sure enough. Not my overfill. Oh man. What could that be? Well, that was probably the stupidest thing I've probably done in a long time. So in one of the earlier videos, I didn't drain the coolant when I was doing this pan. And coolant started flowing out into the motor, so I quickly plugged it and I took this hose off. And before I took the hose off, I tried loosening the drain. I don't know if you can see it down there. Oh yeah, right there. I loosened that drain and nothing came out. So I was like, oh, it's plugged up, because this thing has a lot of calcium in it. So I ended up just taking this hose off here and main hose and draining the block that way. Totally forgot to close this back up, and when I went out for that test drive, the pressure and the heat blew that plug right out. So by the time I got home, it was shooting just that last little bit of coolant out. Hopefully I didn't overheat my motor or anything stupid like that, but that was a bad move. So it's closed now. Put about 7 gallons of coolant in there, so that was a good way to waste 60 bucks. It's all back together. I'm gonna call that one, I don't know if we can call it a win. It did drive great, but my incompetence just about destroyed it. So that's the end of this video. If you like this kind of stuff, stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. I actually just got my straps, so I'm about to go pick something up. So that'll be in the next video. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.